Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the video and welcome to the Marvel Legends Punisher Kill Krew Writer Series Punisher. Now, the reason why I say Punisher Kill Krew is because later on in the video you'll see a helmet, and honestly that is related to the Punisher Kill Krew covers. If you've been reading the War of the Realms or the miniseries that tie into it, you would know just how awesome that book was. I had hella fun reading it, and that's the reason why I got this Punisher. It has nothing to do with pretty much anything else except for the fact that Punisher Kill Krew was amazing, and I loved everything about it. So without further ado, let's jump into this video. Yeah, this is a cool Punisher. I mean, it reuses parts that we already know from Marvel Legends and gives us some new stuff while we're at it, and it makes it hella fun. If you read the comics, this Punisher is definitely going to be a fun-filled thing for you. If you don't read it and you just love Punisher, this will also be fun for you. It's a very simple toy. It gets straight to the point of, I'm the Punisher, I kill bad guys, you know, any means necessary. So without further ado, yeah, all that good jazz. So here we are with the Punisher, looking cool. They gave him that that old school 70s, 80s hairline, which I don't even mind, because depending on who's drawing Punisher, his hairline definitely is completely and utterly all over the place, depending on how you want to go about it. And I don't actually mind this one at all. It's a mix between like Jeff Darrow, Tony Moore, and maybe a bit of Krasinski from the most recent run before it changed. But yeah, I like it. You see these buffer arms are definitely new, while this body is pretty much the MCU, well, I wouldn't say MCU, but the Netflix body Luke Cage, with bigger buffer arms, new fingerless gloves. And these here, I believe these used to be used a while ago. This might be a bigger version of this. But yeah, articulation wise, we have our standard look up, look down. You can look left and right. There's nothing to hinder any of those joints. You actually get a little bit of wiggle room out of that. Our arms can go only about this far up, which is because you have this new sleeveless part here that's going to get in the way. So clearly, if you want to go all the way up, that's not going to be the case here. So you could just, no butterfly joint either, but it just wiggle a little bit forward. But you actually can just rotate around, and however you want to go about that is whatever it is. So you're going to actually be limited in this part unless you want to like rip open this part. As you can see, if you start to tear in, you'll cause a little bit of damage there. So you got to be very careful with that. You have your standard bicep swivel and our double joints. So yeah, on our right hand, you'll actually get a vertical swivel, and on the left hand, you will get a horizontal one, which means in and out instead of up and down. Our ab crunch is very limited. That's as far as you're going to get. Nothing too crazy. Backwards, it's like basic. And then you have your standard forward leg articulation. You have your thigh swivel, and you have your double joint. You're also going to be a little bit limited in terms of the pant leg articulation. Instead of the ankle pivot. You'll still get your standard stuff, but you won't be able to go forward as backwards as much because of the pants leg cuff. So you got to be careful there. Here you'll see the ammo the magazine clips strapped to the left hand side. This is adjustable and you can take it off. It just slides right down. It actually holds very firmly until you move it, so you have nothing to worry about it slipping up and down. As far as Punisher's movements, I think you can get all your standard shooting poses out of it, like posing his arm up. So yeah, I think you will do just fine with your standard Punisher stuff. Well, they made it look pretty good. I think that there won't be issues. Honestly, dog, like it's one of those clean and simple toys. No matter what I do reviewing it, he's gonna look good. Like, I can't front on this Punisher. It just, no matter what you do on this guy, it's gonna look good. He's also very good custom material, and I'll show you why in a second. But I want to talk about the accessories in his bike. So let's do that. So I'm gonna move him out of the way. Let's get him back here, and we're gonna get that bike up front. Now, if you've had the Ghost Rider, you already know this is pretty much the same bike. I think the seat is just minorly adjusted, but this is pretty much the same bike that we've been getting with Ghost Rider, which is not a problem. Except now it's painted in black. That means for people like me who can't paint to save my life, this works. All the same parts are still there if you want to plug it in, except now it says Punisher, and it's going to show you 616, which is the Marvel Universe that he's in. So this is a 616 Punisher, without a doubt. I like that they added that on. But overall, this is your standard Ghost Rider bike, just adjusted. You have the Punisher knob here as well too. This can actually be removed, your speedometer, so you can like literally run the streets without a speedometer and be dangerous. But yeah, So that's if you want to customize anything like that. But me, I can't paint. So a solid black bike looks really good if I want to add a Mezco to it, or something else, or even like a Mezco me, or whatever it is. This is easily a very nice custom material. That's what I was saying about before with the Punisher. Everything about this is easily customizable because it's already black. Makes it very easy for other people. This bike is very nice, very sturdy too. The wheels seem like they're rubber, and they actually like move, which I am a huge fan of. I like stuff like that. I go vroom vroom, you know? There's nothing wrong with going vroom vroom. I think the only problem that you may have is that your kickstand is actually a two-way kickstand. So you can have it, let me actually move this back so you can see it. There's this version where it's like this, right down here. And then even as you toss this up, this kickstand is gonna kind of be in your way. So that's kind of annoying. So I'm probably gonna cut off one of these. I just don't know which one yet. So when I fold it up, it actually holds up. So I'll probably end up cutting this one. But I wanted to make sure it was shown in the video. So yeah. Now let's talk about our accessories and why I think this guy is cool. So you're going to get a machete. And this is where if you read War of the Realms, like Punisher using anything in his arsenal. I don't want to spoil the story. I will spoil the cast, but I won't spoil the story. But he was using a machete. We have a baseball bat, which I thought was crazy fun. It's a solid old baseball bat, no logo, no anything. So if you want to put anything on it, like a blood splatter or a Punisher skull, you totally can. We have a sawed-off shotgun. We have a submachine gun. I'm not sure if this is a Uzi. I don't want to use the wrong term, but I do know that it's a submachine gun. The magazines are not removable. Then we have a Tech 9. Again, the magazine's not removable, but this is actually pretty fun. I do want to see one thing, if there is an effect part that can go into it. So I have a Mezco effect part. I want to test it, and it does fit in there. It's very loose, so you know it won't hold, but if you put a little sticky tack, you could probably get that to work. For the submachine gun, there's no opening, so you can't do that. Then we have our alternate head, which is a beat-up head. You see some stitches and some laceration, a couple of black eyes. Mine's a little cockeyed, but whatever. It's not a big deal. It's a Marvel Legend. Then we have our cool Viking-like helmet, or Norse-like helmet, and this is from War of the Realms as well too, where he's seen with the helmet. Both heads can actually fit the helmet with no problem. And I'll actually put it on Punisher as well too, so you guys can see it. Not that you haven't watched everyone else's review already on it. So shout out to them for reviewing it, because that actually made me more excited to review this guy. And as you can see here, it looks really cool. I really like this idea. It's crazy because in that story, he actually doesn't use his motorcycle. He's back in his Punisher van. So it's actually pretty funny that they gave him a bike for this. Now, I guess what I could do is go over some quick head swaps, right? I don't know. Actually, yeah, let's go over some head swaps and some other ideas. So let's cut to that. All right, now before we jump into those size comparison, I said I want to do some head swaps. So let's do that. This is your default Punisher head, and I have a bunch of different Punisher heads that I'm going to go through it. I guess we'll start with the Mezco ones, a couple Mezco ones. And as you can see here, this actually fits on. So outside of the skin tone, you can actually just pop a Mezco head on there, and it actually works pretty well on this. So this is going to be fun. Then we have, here's the man nipple head sculpt. This one has an adapter inside of it. And again, this one kind of works out too. You just got to work on that skin tone. But overall, I mean, you can get different looks out of it. Next up, we have a custom. This is a custom head. This is painted by the Beltran brothers. It sits a little high, so I may have to Dremel out a little bit more. That means the Mezco one does fit. So shout out to the Beltran. It's 0007. Then we have some Punisher heads from other previous Marvel Legends. Here's the really old one. Obviously, that's far too small, right? And sits way too high. Here's the Jim Lee one. So you can get your Jim Lee head sculpt on. Ooh, that looks pretty good. Then we have some old Return of the Marvel Legends one. And while this sits on it pretty well, I think this head looks entirely too small. Unless you want to go with a Roid Rage Punisher. This would definitely be a Roid Rage Punisher. I think the head is entirely too small. Next up, we have another alternate head from Marvel Legends. I think this one probably fits as one of the better ones. Definitely. So yeah, Let's actually rotate. There we go. I think this one actually fits really, really well. All right. Let's check this out. And then, oh, so there's cool things like you could put a Mythic Legion's head on. This looks pretty big, but of course, if you're fighting like evil dark elves or some sort of orcs, this works as a bigger helmet, so you can actually work. It needs some sticky tack because it's very loose, but overall, if you want to aim for that look, you totally got it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this head back on. I'm going to prep myself because I have some stuff next to me. And now we're going to jump into the size comparisons. So let me back you on up, and then let's get started. All right, guys, on to size comparisons. First things first, let's compare them to the two Punishers. So we have a Mezco Punisher, right, which sits a lot smaller, actually, than this guy. Then we're going to do the Netflix one, and then I have another Punisher, which is a Marvel Legends custom. So bear with me on that one, because that one's for my main man, Weapon X03, aka Adam Smith. I want to thank you for that, because till this day, while I may have not shown it publicly, he actually sits in my permanent display. So thank you for that. Then we have my Marvel Legends custom Punisher that he made for me, which is probably one of my favorite comic Punishers because he made it pretty accurate. So as you can see, this guy actually stands a little taller than our Mezco one, and then it works a little better with the Netflix one. But I think overall our Marvel Legends one are completely bigger, so they definitely have the height. That may be too big for some people though, so you never know. Next up, we're gonna compare it to a bunch of other stuff. So let's get to it. First things first, because this is to me, a mythical Punisher who's taking place in War of the Realms. Here he is with a Mythic Legion's Orc, and I think he sizes up perfectly with them. Not bigger than them, but around the same size and nearly buff as one of them, because the Punisher is not, he's crazy. So here we are with a Marvel Legends Iron Fist. Then we're gonna go with this one's actually a good comparison, so let me cut to that real quick. Let's move these guys. We have a MCU Netflix Luke Cage, and as you can see here, they actually share a lot of the same body, if not the same main body. The arms on him are bigger, and he may have a slightly different part of the upper torso, if anything, but most of all, I think these guys are pretty much the same. So again, if you guys want to customize stuff, this is how you do it. Have fun with that. Next up, we're going to do a Marvel Legends Black Knight and Moon Knight. Two knights, right? So here's Dane Whitman. Here's Mark Spector. Punisher is completely bigger than these guys. Then we're going to do a Black Widow. I have my Gray Widow here, in case you want to do some espionage team ups. All right. Next up, we're going to choose a Spd Power Rangers, which I actually forgot because he was sitting on the side ages ago. Then we're going to do a 1000 toy synthetic human. Oh, it's a carb, not a human. My bad, y'all. Here's an articulated Icons Ninja. And then we have, where's my Ogre? Because I definitely want to put the Ogre in this, just in case you want to do that big stuff. So here's an Ogre. Because I am definitely going to do some War of the Realms stuff, because I've been waiting a long time to do it for the Punisher Kill Crew. So yeah, let's move all these guys out. Throw a Mezco me in there just for fun. Maybe I could team up with Punisher's Kill Crew. Last but not least, I think I want to throw in just your main man, Kamen Rider Kuga. Let's just have some fun. Show him in there. He's a tiny guy. All in all, I'm going to have fun with this Punisher. I took a few pictures already, but that was before I jumped into the review. And I definitely think that this is a fun buy. It's one of those things you can definitely enjoy and not know anything about the comics. And I feel like it's a pleasant surprise for those of you who do. And I think this is definitely worth buying. But again, if this is not for you, you can totally pass up on it. I believe everyone's pretty much finding it everywhere. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it informative. But as always, please be good, do good, drink your water, guys. Later.